Hello, everybody, and welcome to reading. This week we've been discussing about quantitative or database text features and how they're very important in understanding all of the information that we're trying to gain. So today we're going to continue to gain more information about a topic being presented by analyzing the data based upon text feature graphs. This is important because if we skip over these, we could miss some very important information or even supporting details that help us to understand the text even deeper and more clearly. So we're going to take a look at these two passages. One is about Oslo, Norway. The other one is about Rome, Italy. And notice they both have the same graph, which shows the average weather temperature in Fahrenheit that they go through between the months of January and December. So let's start looking at the passage for Oslo, Norway. Oslo, the capital city of Norway, is situated at the top of the Oslo Fjord, a long, narrow, deep inlet of the sea between high cliffs. It has a population of over 650,000 people and is 450 square kilometers in size. The Gulf Stream brings warm water from the Gulf of Mexico, which means it isn't as cold as one would expect. Summer in Oslo is from June to August, while winter from November through March. People in Oslo love snow activities such as skiing, ice skating, and tobogganing. So I gained a lot of information about just what Oslo, Norway is about, but it didn't give me specific information about the temperatures. It just mentioned about the summer and the winter and how it's as cold as one would expect. But using the graph, I can see a little bit more clearly about how the temperatures start between 46 and go up to start at 27 and go up to 64 and then back down to 27 in December. So let's take a look at Rome, Italy. Rome, the capital city of Italy, is bordered by the Tiber River and is 15 miles from the Tyrrhenian Sea. Rome has a population of 2.7 million and has an area of 1,285 square kilometers. Rome has hot and humid summers ranging from June through August. People in Rome enjoy festivals, events, operas, concerts, and ballet performances during those summer months. Rome's winter season is relatively mild and snowfall is rare. Rome's winters last from October through April. So I gained a lot of information as well about Rome, Italy, and it talked about how during the summer months I can enjoy specific events. And I see that they have those events more during the summer months, mostly by looking and using the information I gained from the graph. So using the circle dot, I noticed that Rome goes from 46 all the way up to 75. So that would explain to me and help me understand why they do the more outdoor events during the summer months, because the temperatures are a lot higher. So if I were to go to answer some questions about these two graphs and the passage, I would want to use both of them to help me to understand them. So this first sentence says, write a statement that compares the average temperature in both capital cities during the month of February. Well, I looked back at the graph and I looked back at both passages, and I was able to determine that in February, the temperatures ranges differently. In Rome, the average temperature is much warmer than in Norway. I can see this represented in the graph and following the lines of each country. In February, Rome's average temperature is 48 degrees, while in Norway, the average temp is 28 degrees. So I used both of the passages to help me to understand that question, as well as using the information on the graph to help me better explain that as well. Looking at the second question, it says to compare and contrast the two cities during the summer months. Well, I know that compare means to how are they alike, while contrast means how are they different. Well, in the summer months, both countries have a fairly warm temp. They're not too hot, but not too cold either. So looking at the graph, I can see that that is true. Both of the countries have fairly warm Now, Rome might be a little bit warmer, which is why in the contrast, I included that information. That Rome fares warmer in the summer months, ranging about 75 degrees, while Norway is a bit cooler, around 64 degrees. The next question says, based on the data in the graph and in the text, so I'm going to use both this time, which month do you think would be the best to visit Rome? And explain. Well, as I was talking about earlier, this passage about Rome mentions how people in Rome enjoy the outdoor activities more during the summer months. Well, I need to think to myself, is that represented in the graph as well? And it is, because I can see that during the summer months, June, July, August, and even a little bit into September, the warmer temps would make me want to be outside even more. And that could possibly be why they have more of the activities outside in Rome during those months. So I included that in my answer and said that in the graph it shows that I would probably enjoy to visit those countries during the summer months when the weather is warmer. In the passage, it helps me to decide on which months to visit during the summer months because it talks about how there are more activities to participate in during those months. So I use both of the passage and the graph to answer that question. And the last question says, describe a pattern you notice about the average yearly temperatures in Rome and Oslo. So I said the pattern I notice is that as the months continue, the temperatures go up together and then back down going into December, which looking at the graph, you can see they start out kind of low, even though they're at different temperatures at about 20 degrees, maybe 19 degrees difference. They are going steadily up and then they go right back down at the same time. So those were the compares between those two graphs. All right, your task for today is going to look like this, where you are going to be looking at a passage and a graph as well. You're going to be using both of the information, both of those to get information from to answer the three questions on the last slide. You are also going to have a Nearpod today. So make sure that you are watching the Nearpod fully, participating in the Nearpod, and then there is a grammar task after the Nearpod to complete. So you have your reading task for today, you have the Nearpod to complete, and then the grammar task as well. I hope you have a good rest of your day, guys. Bye-bye.